Hamon Rune here with a explanation video on how to build an attack team. One of my guildmates, 3 Nezaru, has asked me to build an attack team for him. So I will be building an attack team and explaining each monster's skills, their abilities, and how they're useful in combat. For one, he has Raki, which is Fire Hell Lady, who is a great attacker. Its skills allow its a leader skill is the best of it all. Is increases attack power in arena by 44%, so that's great. Its third skill can basically destroy souls and allow them not to be revived if it's killed by it, as well as deal massive amounts of damage since it attacks twice. It can usually deal up to about 20 to 30k damage each attack, so usually kills them in one blow, depending on if you have a defensive break or an attack buff on it. So you definitely want to basically have a support for it. This puts a defensive break and attacks all enemies, so great attack as well. And it also attacks them twice. So first skill is basically just a one hit attack and can deal continuous damage. So obviously, like I said, this is an attack monster. It wants to attack. It has high damage, but if you look at its stats right here, it only has 11,000 HP. Most monsters can deal that. Most attackers who, if they go first, can kill it instantly. So you need a buff for this monster. You definitely need to be buffing it. You definitely need to be able to heal it in case it gets damaged. And you need to be able to basically keep this monster alive as long as possible to deal its damage. So it definitely has the damage necessary. Now, to build an attack team, you need an attacker with a leader skill, an attacker with some support, a support, and a heal. You definitely need a support and a heal. You can do 2 supports, you can do 2 heals, but you gotta have at least enough to support your attacker, or one of your 2 attackers, your 1 attacker, however much you want to support it, what you want to focus on. For him, I would say with the monsters that I'm seeing right now up in the just off the right off the bat, he basically wants to support Raki. So Raki needs to be the main focus of his team. So basically, his support monsters look like to be Megan, Shannon, Delphi, Bella, and Bella. Those are the only support monsters I see that are actually useful for the situation. Bella and Delphi have heals, so they can be your healer, and then you need a support. So let's go over Megan and why she would be useful and what situation she would be useful in. Megan has a leader skill that increases attack power 21%, which we don't need right now because of Raki. But its third skill, Spell of Strengthening, can increase the attack bar and increase attack power and defense of all monsters. So you basically want Megan in your team if you know your opponent's using a little bit of a faster team and you want to get that defensive buff and attack first. So Megan's really useful in that aspect. So great. She's really good. Also, she has what's called Toad Poison. She can remove beneficial effects, so she's very useful. And like going like poke, if the team has like a Chloe or Chloe, Megan, Shannon, any of the other supports just like her, she can basically remove those beneficial effects and for one turn, and basically that helps out. Really does, and it also does a little bit of damage. So you definitely want Megan on your team if you're looking to take away those beneficial effects. She can also deal continuous damage, so very useful against HP monsters such as Vuro, Chasen, and whoever else is HP on teams. Um, the other support, Shannon. She doesn't have a leader skill, but her third skill, Pep Talk, basically can increase attack power and defense, just like Megan. Except for she doesn't increase the attack bar. Megan's honestly better in this aspect, but there are times when Shannon would be better. Shannon basically is a wind monster and Megan is a water. So the advantage would be is if you're facing a fire team, you want to use Megan. If you're facing a water team, you probably want to use Shannon, just because that's you don't want that support to be targeted and killed right off the bat if they're faster than you. So There's that. Also, Shannon has the ability to basically decrease all enemies' attack speed. So definitely useful if you're wanting your monsters to go first and stuff like that. So this is another useful skill. Like I said, depends on the situation which one you want to use. If you're facing a team that doesn't have a lot of speed and just but has a lot of HP, Shannon would be better because you can accelerate them so they don't heal, so they don't attack your monsters, stun them. So in that aspect, Shannon would be better. Her first skill basically decreases accuracy, increases their chance of getting glancing hits, so that they won't deal as much damage. So very useful again if you're facing an HP team. So basically, you basically want to use Shannon if you're facing an HP team, and Megan if you're facing more of a speed team. So those would be the two different supports that you would use. All right, let's go on to your second attacker or your heals. Your heals can be Delphi or Bella. Bella basically has a defensive break, and also like Megan can take away beneficial effects, and also has a heal and increased attack bar. So you put Raki, Megan, and Bella together, that attack speed is going to go up. Again, this could basically be for a speed team. So definitely you want to base it off of situational base on what you use. If you're facing more of an HP team that likes to put dots and hardenful effects on them, Delphi would be better to use just because her third skill basically can heal and put immunity on you. Her second skill can increase cooldown times, and her first skill can decrease attack speed. So you definitely want to put Delphi if you're facing an HP team, just because it would be more useful during that situation and stuff like that. So you definitely want to put Delphi on there. Now, as for second attackers, it looks like he has Izuru and Rauk. Now, Rauk's basically is a good speed monster too. Both of these monsters are good for facing speed teams. Rauk's good for putting a defense break. He does have a passive. He gets an extra turn if he kills an enemy, and also he can team up with another ally and attack all the enemies. So that those are useful effects. So definitely very useful, and he also, like I said, can put a defensive break, but he also can attack consecutively. But he only has a 30% chance to do that. So you gotta so he does have the ability to attack again, so it makes him a very useful attacker. Again, it also depends on the elements that you're fighting too. So like I said, I would use him for mainly HP teams because you definitely want to have a defensive break, and since he can attack multiple times, a lot of the time he's very useful against HP teams. Izuru is very good against speed teams just because she has the ability to sleep them for one turn, and she recovers the attack gauge by 50% if the enemy falls asleep. So this helps her out when she puts them to sleep. So it helps her out and keeps her moving. So like I said, a good team to fight speed teams would probably be Raki, Izuru, Megan, and Bella. You got a lot of speed there. You got enough heals. You've got a buff, and you've got the ability to basically keep going. Her third skill basically can recover damage, so and 10% of the enemy's attack bar. So basically, really useful against speed teams because speed teams they generally need that their attack bar in order to attack. So again, like I said, you're taking away from their attack bar. You're taking away from you're debuffing them. You're taking away their beneficial buffs. You're taking away everything from them. By the time when you're attacking, you're also dealing damage. Speed teams also usually don't have healers because they need all that speed. All their monsters have speed. They might have a healer or two, but not many on the healing. Not very heavy on the healing side. So, like I said, this would be very useful in healing teams. Most of the time, those speed teams have a Chloe. So, again, Megan and Bella. If you have Megan and Bella on there, taking away those buffs and stuff like that, you should be fine. Her second kill basically can disturb HP recovery, which is again great for HP teams, great for speed teams as well, because you don't want them to be healing. So also it goes along with their first skill, which puts them to sleep. It gives you a 100% crit rate. So again, very useful, extremely useful in combat. But then again, like I said, it's different every time. I wouldn't use your Beretta as the leader skill if you're building an attack team. That's mainly for a speed team. So unless he's building a speed team, which I don't see any other monsters that would be very useful for a speed team other than Megan and Shannon. So, but anyways, and he also doesn't have any monsters that bases himself off speed. So anyways, those would be the monsters I would use, and that's how he would. That's how we would do it. But other than that, it should be all done. And that's all, folks. I will see you next time.